if you grew up in a narcissistic dysfunctional family system, then you were groomed to tolerate inappropriate behavior. You were most likely groomed to tolerate gaslighting. You're also groomed most often to be parentified. What is parentification? Parentification essentially is when a child has to parent their parent or even their other siblings or other family members. This is inappropriate behavior. So you see where children that grow up in the scapegoat role and or this lost child role gets their needs met the least. This is what we call emotional neglect or even emotional abuse. So you'll see where because of these wounds, we grow up with codependent tendencies, and it is this codependence that we have to heal. For example, Carol Steven writes, I never had a relationship with anyone other than a narc, from parent, sibling, boss, ex husband, mother in law, any romantic partners. I didn't awaken to any of this until the last covert narcissist. I always thought that people thought like me. I'm still having trouble understanding this evil. So the reason why you truly won't understand evil people, pathological narcissists, again, these sociopathic individuals, is because you simply do not think like them. And while we grew up in a narcissistic dysfunctional family system, you probably can tell where you were different from your family members. And this is why you were also neglected. You will see where empaths, again, highly sensitive people, some of you may be autistic or they're diagnosing you with stuff like ADHD. It is because you can detect energies better than other people. And oftentimes we are truth tellers. We value justice. So when you grow up in these dysfunctional family systems, they are not going to like you. So what truly happens is, as empathetic people, we grew up around people that were not like us. They were not very empathetic a lot of the times. So when you grow up with people that are dissimilar to you, oftentimes, if you don't heal properly, then you attract people that are at that vibration. And this is what we need to heal. It is important that you understand that human beings on this planet operate at varying levels of consciousness. There are people that we say that are high vibrational, right? This is what we're talking about here is Christ consciousness, the Buddha, Yah, Jah, Allah, Krishna, again, that level of consciousness. We're talking about enlightenment. And there are people that fall more so towards the bottom of the Hawkins scale. These are your pathological narcissists. These are the sociopaths. These are the psychopaths, the serial abusers, the serial assaulters, and so on. And oftentimes you'll see we're chosen ones, us being light workers. We are born into a family of darkness. And it is important that you learn how to identify these individuals so that you can truly separate yourself and find others that are at your vibration. And all of that comes through discernment. So know that narcissistic abuse is not taught in traditional schools, right? Most of us are coming online and so on to really figure out this information. But it is important that you truly learn how to discern those that are stuck in the red zone, those that are stuck in hell and purgatory, those that are stuck in their lower ego. These people are stuck in victim abuser consciousness, which means that any relationship that you get into with them will be a victim abuser type one. So know that the reason why today, as an adult, you are attracting these toxic individuals is because you grew up around these toxic individuals. So, what happens is if you love your abuser and the first person that abused you was a parental figure, then you attract people that are at a similar vibration to those parental figures. So now, as an adult, we have to shed the scapegoat role or the lost child role, which comes with a lot of shame and blame, right? So we have to shed that role so that we can see that we are truly worthy of love. Because if you were a scapegoat or a lost child, you weren't truly loved. You were emotionally neglected and or emotionally abused. So, as an adult, we have to look back at our childhood upbringing again, kind of like a bird's eye view, and look at how we were treated, and to truly understand that we were treated unfairly by those that were there to love us. However, if you are on this video, if you're healing from narcissistic abuse, then you have childhood trauma. And again, most of this childhood trauma is coming through the scapegoat treatment or the lost child treatment, which is emotional neglect. You see where people that are emotionally neglected oftentimes end up love starved. And love starved individuals oftentimes attract narcissists, they attract takers. So, in healing from narcissistic abuse, then we have to truly be cognizant of the fact that most people on this planet do not think like us. Most people on this planet are unconscious, which means that they are closer to the vibration of narcissism. I've done a previous video where I've mentioned that Earth is 85% dark. Now, everybody in that 85% isn't a pathological narcissist, isn't a sociopath, isn't a psychopath, but they lean more towards that side. For example, all of the flying monkeys and the enablers that sided with the narcissist, well, if they sided with the narcissist, then their vibration is closer to the narcissist. So as you heal, it is important again that you find people that are on your wavelength. These people are your soul family because you're vibrating at a very similar level. You cannot have healthy, blossoming, blooming relationships with people if your vibrations are too dissimilar. You will have to lower your vibration because they cannot get up to your level. Water must meet its own level. You're not equally yoked. And while we were born into these 3D family systems, we ourselves do not operate at the vibration of the third dimension. And this is why we must get the courage to walk away from these dysfunctional family systems and find people that are in communion with us. The only relationship, people, that you're going to get with a pathological narcissist is a victim abuser type of relationship. Because when you take a look at these narcissistic dysfunctional family systems, you'll see where all of these members are really working to maintain a dysfunctional equilibrium. A narcissistic dysfunctional family is dysfunctional. The narcissist is dysfunctional. The enabler is dysfunctional. The golden child is dysfunctional. The scapegoat is dysfunctional. The lost child is dysfunction. And this is why we must get the courage to break away from these toxic dynamics. And this means then that we must have proper boundaries. So it could be that you're going no contact, you're completely blowing the bridge up with certain people around you, or it could be that you're going low contact, which means that you're putting up boundaries. Maybe some family members, you don't see them every month, maybe you see them only twice a year on special holidays and so on. So you know what boundaries mean to you. And again, those boundaries are there to protect you. But again, know that people can only give you what they have. And if someone is based in shame and they cannot move past your pride, they cannot give you love, they cannot give you empathy, they cannot give you courage, they cannot give you neutrality, they cannot give you acceptance, they cannot give you forgiveness, they cannot give you gratefulness, and so on. What pathological narcissists have to give is whatever lies between shame and pride, and it is all dysfunctional. And we attracted these dysfunctional people because we ourselves grew up in dysfunctional family systems. However, we do have the ability today to break away and find people that are at our wavelengths. All right, good people. That really is the quick message for today's video. If you appreciate the content, please give us a like. Ensure that you are subscribed for more important content. If you have any questions or feedback, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. Shika Genius is the name. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.